First, I would like to bring greetings on behalf of our International President, Howard Daggett, and our Executive Vice President, Dennis Daggett, who today are focused on their family. The one reason why we all do what we do. We do it for our families. The Daggetts are not here today because they are with their son and brother, John Daggett, who will have open heart surgery today. And to those of you who recognize the worth and the value of prayer, we certainly solicit your prayers for them on today. The entire East and Gulf Coast of the United States have just entered into the second year of a new 6-year master contract, which covers mostly containerized cargo, along with the roll-on, roll-off operations and maintenance and repair. It is a historical agreement, not only in terms of wages and benefits, but it is historical in the sense that it assures our membership that there will be not a single job loss over the next 6 years due to automation. It guarantees that there will be no fully automated terminal built during the life of this contract, and that there will be no introduction of any new technology unless it's bargained by the parties. On the political front, the ILA continues to build its war chest and has become increasingly focused on the national and local politics. Our Washington, D.C. office is fully engaged and is forever monitoring legislation that will be harmful to our industry and to our workforce. In the last midterm elections, it was the unions who were able to turn out the votes and won back the majority in the House of Representatives. If it were not for the ability to deliver a majority to the House, there would be no impeachment hearing that you see is going on right now. President Donald Trump would have escalated his attempt on dismantling every treaty and every relationship that America has with its allies all over the world. But brothers and sisters, this is no reality TV show. This is our lives we are talking about. This is our world. It is the goal of the labor movement in the US, and it is certainly the goal of the ILA, that in 2020, we defeat Donald Trump, send him back to civilian life, and maybe even to prison. We will take our country back. Labor will continue to be a target of this administration and its political appointees. It is becoming more difficult to win decisions in our favor before the National Labor Relations Board and in the courts. Every vacancy on the National Labor Relations Board and every vacancy in the courts are being filled with ultra-conservative right-wing judges, all appointed by Donald Trump. So we must do everything in our power to strategically win our disputes and our battles on the ground and without going into the courts, because there we will not win. When it comes to organizing, the ILA has been busy on many fronts, organizing and recapturing jurisdictions that were traditionally manned by employers, jobs that really belong to the dockworkers. We are organizing and recapturing jobs that came as a result of new technology, maintenance jobs that would have been lost due to the creation of new chassis pools that are off-terminal. The ILA is proud of its newly organized union in Freeport, Grand Bahamas, and proud to have negotiated its first 3-year contract with Hutchinson Ports. Unfortunately, our brothers and sisters of that port and that island recently experienced the most powerful hurricane ever formed in the Caribbean, Hurricane Doreen, a powerful Category 5 storm. The storm was so powerful that the professionals are now considering the creation of a new category, maybe a category 6. Credit that to global warming. Hurricane Doreen delivered a significant blow to the island, a significant loss of life, and the destruction of thousands of homes. But the ILA was quick to respond. Through a well-coordinated effort at the port of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and under the directions of the Secretary-Treasurer, Johnny Dixon, several containers of goods were shipped to our dock workers in Freeport. But even though the cameras are mostly gone now, the struggle on that island continues and will continue for a very long time. Therefore, we in the ILA will continue to bring awareness to their needs for as long as we can. I'm personally still talking about organizing, looking forward to coordinating and working with Caesar in the Caribbean zone. We have a vested interest in creating stronger bonds in that region for more than one purpose. The increase in the volume of trade in that region is growing exponentially. Many of the smaller ships that are worked in that region are finding their way into very small non-union ports in the southern region of the United States. In this last master contract, we created an initiative called the Caribbean Basin Initiative. Every carrier under the ILA contract pays into a fund either $5 to $6 per ton per container to supplement our wages and our benefits. $5 to $6 per ton. In this Caribbean Basin Initiative, we have reduced these royalty payments because so many small non-union carriers are competing for the same cargo that our carriers who are paying these royalties to us, they are competing with them and are slowly taking volumes away from these major carriers. So we have a vested interest in working with unions in that region to try to level the playing field and make sure that we attract more and more of those containers away from small non-union carriers and have them placed back on the carriers' vessels that utilize ILA labor and support our workforce. Health and safety. Like every dock worker union represented here in this room, the health and safety of our members are paramount. And we take the challenges of maintaining a safe work environment very, very seriously. The ILA has created a National Safety Committee. 4 men from various regions of the country whose primary responsibility is to address every safety concern that may be registered with that committee. No matter where that concern may come from in the country. In addition, each of our ports are mandated to create a joint accident and review committee to determine first the cause of the accident and second to remove any element that contributed to the accident. We are having far too many accidents and have lost far too many lives. The most recent loss of life in the ILA jurisdiction occurred just this past Sunday night at 3 a.m. in the morning while loading an automobile vessel. One of our workers, 45 years old, married with 3 kids, drove one of the vehicles overboard into the water. 4 of our courageous dock workers dove into those waters to try to get them out, but it was unsuccessful. So he passed away. There were some discussions about this in the meeting Sunday also in Atlanta. What kind of plans are we putting in place to rescue someone who may happen to go overboard? We have lost 2 lives in 2 years by our workers driving overboard. It could be a medical situation. Someone may have fallen asleep, but what do we do as far as rescuing someone from the water. When it's brought to our attention that with these automobiles today, when you crank the vehicle, when you put it in gears, the door is locked. The windows are more reinforced these days. Is there something that you can grab, like the police officers do when they're trying to break a window? But these are things that we need to consider, because this is very seldom do you hear someone losing their lives in that fashion on an automobile operation, but we have had two within 2 years. The importance of being more socially conscious. We must support our communities and social causes within our communities, because if we support our communities, they will support us in our times of struggle. The ILA has supported seriously ill children through a program called the Hole in the Wall Gang for several years, and that has contributed millions of dollars to this effort. And we all look forward to contributing to that effort every year. But also, since 2014, during the height of the Ebola crisis in Liberia, the ILA has been supporting the people of Liberia and an orphanage in particular in the central part of that country, in Banga, which is in Bong County, central Liberia. The impact has been so great there that the way they spell relief is with 3 letters, ILA. And we look to continue to deliver goods and main staples to this part of the world on an annual basis. In 2011, under the leadership of President Howard Daggett, the ILA created a Civil, Human, and Women's Rights Committee that serves as the social conscience of the ILA and is charged with keeping our membership informed of ongoing struggles throughout our country. We are committed to social justice and will never turn our heads away wherever we find it. And then I wanted to comment a little bit about what Jordy asked me to talk about a little bit about the relationship. Quite frankly, the relationship between the West Coast and the East Coast of the United States, the ILWU and the ILA. Look, we are all family here, and quite truthfully, the relationship between the East Coast and the West Coast has been an on and off relationship throughout my entire career. But we always came together when it mattered most, in times of crisis. And as Jody stated earlier today, when we in the IDC knew and has always known how important it is to the global Dockworkers movement and to the strength of the IDC to have a unified Dockworkers movement in the U.S. Therefore, Jody and I, along with others in the trenches, worked extremely hard to broker several meetings between the leadership of the ILA and the ILWU before and during the last convention in Florida last July. And we are proud of the results. We are proud to report that our relationship in the country is stronger than ever. We have bold new leadership on both coasts. Young, energetic leaders who are focused on putting the welfare of our unions, its members, and its families first. I have a personal relationship with each one of these leaders on both coasts, and I'm extremely excited about their leadership capabilities. But now comes the test of true solidarity. Our brothers in the ILWU and also in Australia are facing union-busting lawsuits and judgments coming out of the courts. We can ill afford to allow one international terminal operators to succeed against 2 of the largest and most powerful dockworkers unions in the world. If they succeed against these 2 large institutions, then the rest of us should just sit, get in line, and wait our turn. I look forward to the resolution that will come out of this assembly and the actions that may follow in support of the ILWU and our brothers and sisters in the MUA. And I also look forward in working with our Chilean brothers and sisters to help put to bed the atrocities that we see taking place there. With that, thank you very much.